Are you satisfied now? I nodded my head. Quite satisfied. Don't come back to this house. I don't want to see you. David hung up the phone. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to see him and Annie. But when he said that, I didn't like it. It's my business. If I don't want to go home, he can't stop me from going home. Well, if he says he won't let me go home, then he and Annie can't go home either. I went home right away. There was still Annie's blood on the bedspread. It was bad luck. I called a bellhop to clean up the place, threw away the sheets and covers, and replaced them with new ones. I washed the bathtub several times with disinfectant. I also asked the maid to collect Annie's clothes and put them in the trash can downstairs. I changed the combination on the locks and installed surveillance cameras all over the house. After all this, I left the house. When Annie was released from the hospital, David brought her home. Annie saw her clothes in the garbage can, picked them up and asked David, "Did Sophia do this? Did Sophia do this? Who else could it be? Forget it. I'll buy you some new ones." David took Annie home. At the door, David pressed the house code. The voice message said the code was wrong. David tried twice more, but it was still wrong. He tries the fingerprint lock again, but the fingerprint is no longer valid. Annie said, "Sophia must have come back and changed the code and fingerprints." David dialed my number, but there was a busy signal. I had blacklisted him. David called the locksmith to come and unlock the door. I called the property owner. "Hello, someone is picking the lock of my house. Please help me to stop it." Usually I contact the property owner if there is any problem at home. I have known the property owner for a long time. When the property owner arrived, he saw David bringing a strange woman home behind my back and suggested that David confirm the code with me instead of picking the lock. The locksmith, after realizing the situation, didn't dare to pick the lock and left with his toolbox. Neighbors came out to look and pointed at Annie, saying, "Who is this woman?" When she came, the lady of the house went out. Shame on her. Is the culture so open now? What's she doing here when other couples are having a good time? It's disgusting to be a mistress, isn't it? This man is also a fool. Annie's face turned red and white at the neighbor's comments. She turned around and left. David chased after her. Annie said to David in the car, "David, I didn't realize I would cause you so much trouble. I'll go to a hotel." David was humiliated by his neighbor. He nodded his head. "Okay, I'll book a hotel for you." David booked a hotel for Annie for a month and spent our joint assets. My girlfriend reminded me, "You have to prevent him from transferring the property." I've already thought of that. He has a habit of saving his own money. Now that it's come to this,